and retire, he says, from public life. Our Southern Africa correspondent Jeremy Vine reports now from Soweto, where Mr. Mandela has been saying goodbye to the people he led to democracy.
A last walkabout in the final moment of his presidency.
I hope you won't forget us.
No.
Especially this area.
I hope you will not forget me.
No, we'll never forget you.
After 5 years running a country where the poor are still waiting for change, the crowds in Soweto showed Mr. Mandela is still popular and humble too. I asked him if he had a retirement message for the world.
I would not be so presumptuous as to give a message to the world. It is only important people who have something to say to the world, not an outgoing president, but the most important weapon is that of peace.
An era is ending here. Spotted by this excited township resident was one of the president's closest friends, Walter Sisulu, now too weak to leave his car. He was in prison with Nelson Mandela during the years of white rule, and he paid this tribute.
There are very few people who've got the qualities of Nelson. Nelson is a fighter. Nelson is a peacemaker.
A fighter and a peacemaker.
Yes.
Mr. Mandela has been very busy during his last week in power, but watching these scenes, you realize that for him, all roads lead here, to the ordinary people of South Africa who are still waiting patiently for their lives to change and who are grateful to him for beginning to turn them around.
Mandela is very good. I like him. I pray for him to do everything for us.
No history, no South African history would be read without Nelson Mandela being at the top of it.
Now we can manage to go to white schools, do everything, we've got a freedom. So the only thing I can say is that Mandela is our hero, the black people.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, the new president, Thabo Mbeki, will be sworn in. Aged 80, Mr. Mandela says he wants some peace and quiet, but his friends fear he will stay as busy as ever. Invitations are already piling up for a man who is one of the most significant figures of the century. Jeremy Vine, BBC News, Soweto.
Now back to tonight's main news, the fresh evidence of massacres